Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Devatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Begging everyone's blessings on this auspicious day, Dwadashi, and also the disappearance day of Srila Ishwara Puri. That especially begging the blessings of Adipurush Prabhu, Arjun Prabhu, and all the other devotees here. That's so that I can share something which is pleasing to Shri Radha Mulidhar, Gaur Chandra, and Srila Prabhupada, and all of you, and also inspiring and uplifting to all of our Krishna consciousness. So today is the disappearance day of Srila Ishwara Puri. I just realized that literally there is no verse assigned on this day. So we'll recite a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 9, which is the chapter that describes about the desired tree of devotional service. And these are two verses that speaks about Srila Madhavendra Puri, who's the spiritual teacher of Sri Ishwara Puri, and also about Srila Ishwara Puri, verses 10 and 11. I'm just going to read from them for a few minutes. Jai Shri Madhavendra Puri Krishna Prema Puran Bhakti Kalpatarur Teho Pratama Ankura. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Shri Madhavendra Puri, the storehouse of all devotional service unto Krishna. He is a desired tree of devotional service, and it is in him that the seed of devotional service first fructified. Sri Madhavendra Puri, also known as Sri Madhava Puri, belonged to the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya and was greatly celebrated sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the third disciplic descendant from Sri Madhavendra Puri. The process of worship in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya was full of ritualistic ceremonies with hardly a sign of love of Godhead. Sri Madhavendra Puri was the first person in that disciplic succession to exhibit the symptoms of love of Godhead and the first to write a poem beginning with the words Ai Dina Dayar Dharanata, O supremely merciful personality of Godhead. In that poem is the seed of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cultivation of love of Godhead. Then verse 11. Shri Ishwara Puri Rupe Ankura Pushta Haila Apane Chaitanya Mali Skanda Upajila. The seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Sri Ishwara Puri, and then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. Purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Sri Ishwara Puri was a resident of Kumarahatta, where there is, which is near the eastern Calcutta. Ishwara Puri appeared in a Brahmin family and was the most beloved disciple of Srila Madhavendra Puri. In the last portion of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said at the last stage of his life, Sri Madhavendra Puri became an invalid and was completely unable to move. And Sri Ishwara Puri so completely engaged himself in his service that he personally cleaned up his stool and urine, always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and reminding Sri Madhavendra Puri about the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the last stage of his life. Ishwara Puri gave the best service among his disciples. Thus, Madhavendra Puri, being very blessed with him, blessed him, saying, My dear boy, I can only pray to Krishna that he will be pleased with you. Thus, Ishwara Puri, by the grace of his spiritual master, Sri Madhavendra Puri, became a great devotee in the ocean of love of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states in his Guru Ashtaka prayer, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasada na gati kutopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one is blessed by the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. It is by the mercy of the spiritual master that one becomes perfect, and as vividly exemplified here. A Vaishnava is always protected by the Supreme Lord, but if he appears to be an invalid, this gives a chance to his disciples to serve him. Ishwara Puri pleased his spiritual master by service, and by the blessings of his spiritual master, he became such a great personality that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him as his spiritual master. Srila Ishwara Puri was a spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but before initiating Lord Chaitanya, he went to Navadvip and lived for a few months in the house of Gopinath Acharya. At the time, Lord Chaitanya became acquainted with him, and it is understood that he served Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by reciting his book Krishna Leelamrita. This is explained in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Adi Kanda, chapter 11. To teach others by example how to be a faithful disciple of one's spiritual master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, visited the birthplace of Ishwara Puri at Kumarhatta and collected some earth from his birth site. This he kept very carefully, and he used to eat a small portion of it daily. So this is also stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavata Adikanda chapter 17. It has now become customary for devotees following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go there and collect some earth from that place. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So thank you everyone again that on this auspicious day we are all here discussing about the glories of Srila Ishwara Puri. He is the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as we just read that how he is the disciple of Srila Madhavendra Puri, and through his humble menial service to his spiritual master, he received the blessings of Madhavendra Puri. Shushrusho Shadadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. By service to devotees in a sincere mood, Shushusho Shraddhadanasya, with faith and sincerity, when a service is rendered to someone who is great, like Madhavendra Puri, Syat Mahat Sevaya Vipra, when that service is rendered to someone who is Mahat, who is very great in devotional advancement, then Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. They are called as Punya Tirtha, a great devotee. Why we are here discussing about on this day of the disappearance of Srila Ishwar Puri, about him, why we are hearing about Madhavendra Puri. They have been, what do you call, they are from the past. Why are we bothering to actually spend our time early in the morning to remember them? Is because they are called as Punya Tirtha. Tirtha means that which actually purifies, but they are Punya Tirtha means they are even purifying those holy places. So they carry holy places in their heart. They carry the Supreme Lord in their heart. So Punya Tirtha Nishevanat, when such service is rendered to someone who is like a holy place themselves, who is like a walking, talking, moving holy place, a mobile, divine holy place, then when service is rendered to such a personality, what happens is that one actually develops faith and also eagerness to actually hear about Krishna. So faith is usually the beginning of devotional service, but even that faith comes from a mercy of a devotee, service to a devotee, and a direct indication that uh, if I'm serving my spiritual master nicely, so what is the indication? What is the understanding whether somebody is serving properly or not? Is that the desire to hear about Krishna naturally grows deeply. And here we see that through the mercy of Srila Madhavendra Puri, that Ishvari Puri directly became qualified to become the spiritual master of the Supreme Lord. So once it is said that Srila Ishwara Puri, after the disappearance of Madhavendra Puri, he was traveling to various holy places. Once he came to Sridham Navadvip in his travels, and he did know that at this place Navadvip, there are some of the disciples of his spiritual master, that means his god siblings, they were all staying in this place, like Gopinath Acharya, or what do you call, Advaita Acharya, and all of them were living in that place. So he knows them, but he did not wanted to, uh, because he is a sannyasi, they might respect him. So what he decided to do was he disguised himself, and then he entered the Sridham Navadvip, and he stayed in the house of Gopinath Acharya. So at that time, Sri Nimai Pandit was absorbed in the pastimes of what do you call, like a Pandit, as a student, as a great scholar, as a teacher. So Nimai Pandit has not fully, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was currently playing the pastimes as Nimai Pandit. It's like it's a, what do you call, phase of his pastimes where he just exhibited himself as a student and then as a scholar and as a teacher of Sanskrit. He was very famous, and he was running already when he was literally young in his teens. He was already running a very successful school where there were many students coming from all over to study Sanskrit and Nyaya logic from him. So Ishwara Puri entered Nadia uh, in disguise, and thus no one could actually understand who really he was. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also present in Nadia at that time as a teacher. He was having his own school. So Ishwara Puri, of course, he had disguised himself in terms of his dress, but internally he was completely absorbed in the mellows of remembering Krishna always, and he was thus very dear to Krishna. He was actually Vancha Kalpataru, we say, an ocean of mercy, a desire tree. However, because of his changing his dress, immediately nobody could actually recognize him. So he was freely moving around in that holy place, and he was just minding his business. So nobody would actually bother him with respecting or anything like that. So he could freely move around. And however, in his when he was just going around Nadia, by the will of the Supreme Lord, he came to Sri Advaita Acharya's house, and he actually came there, where like to actually take the blessings of Advaita Acharya. And at that time, Advaita Acharya was actually worshipping his deities at home, and he was engaged in deity worship. So he realized that Advaita Acharya is busy with worship. So Srila Ishvari Puri just quietly sat down outside his house. However, Advaita Acharya could get some indication in his heart that someone very important is outside waiting. So he actually completes his he after he completed his service, he actually comes out and looks outside his home and realizes there is someone who seems like an externally a normal person who's just sitting there. So Advaita Acharya goes inside, but in his heart it's very clear, oh, this is not any ordinary person. And he kept having this feeling in his heart that somebody very important, very advanced in devotional service is here. However, because he was disguised, he couldn't exactly say who is this. So he went and asked, oh my dear older gentleman, like, who are you? I have a feeling that you are a great Vaishnava. Like, who are you? Please, like, identify yourself so I can actually properly respect you. And he said, Ishwarapuri says, no, I'm just an ordinary person. uh, like, I have just come to take your darshan, your I want just wanted to take the darshan of your lotus feet, and I'm not anybody who's very important, so I'm just a normal person, fallen. And in that way he just convinces Advaita Acharya, but Advaita Acharya is not fully convinced. So he goes inside his house, and there is a devotee called as Mukunda Datta, who's very well known for singing the uh, pastimes of Krishna and the holy names very sweetly. So he invites Mukunda Datta, okay, come and actually recite some pastimes of Krishna outside. So Mukunda Datta comes outside, and they both have this guess, like they both have this doubt that Ishwara Puri probably is a Vaishnava sannyasi. So they actually want to expose him. So Mukunda Datta actually, in a very sweet voice, he begins a kirtan, and he describes Krishna's pastimes very sweetly, and he starts singing. So when Ishwarapuri actually hears that kirtan, he at once falls in the ground and he develops the symptoms of ecstasy. Tears are flooding his eyes, and then he is exhibiting all the different symptoms of ecstasy in his body. And they are all the devotees are so what do you call, dumbstruck. They are completely surprised that we haven't seen a Vaishnava like this before. Literally, he is exhibiting the symptoms of uh, yeah, prema, love of Godhead, just by hearing some verses of Sri Krishna's pastimes. So Advaita Acharya immediately picks him up and firmly embraces him, and that now everybody could understand that this is Madhavendra Puri's dearmost disciple, Srila Ishwara Puri. That means Advaita Acharya is also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So Ishwara Puri is not just any Vaishnava sannyasi, he is his own god brother, and who had actually served Madhavendra Puri very, very dearly. So Advaita Acharya also knew about it. So they are so happy to have the association of Srila Ishwara Puri. So they immediately invite him, and they actually request Ishwara Puri to remain in Navadvip for a long time, for some more time. He was staying there for some time. He was ready to leave, but Advaita Acharya actually requests Shri Ishwara Puri that it's been so long that I have, after, of course, I haven't had the association of Madhavendra Puri, and he had left also physically. And now I have this great opportunity to actually have your association uh, now as a dear god brother, and you have served our spiritual master so sincerely, and I really want to have your association. So here we can see that Ishwara Puri through his life is exhibiting that how the service or the role of a disciple is to menially and selflessly serve one's spiritual master. That is the role of a disciple. That is a duty of a disciple. And here in the purport that we read, we also saw how even a great devotee like Madhavendra Puri, may become actually in the flow of time, in the when they are living in this world, they may even become invalid, like how Madhavendra Puri had a physical condition. However, it does not change. It does not change the spiritual glory of a great Vaishnava. And Prabhupada writes there, like a Vaishnava is always protected by the supreme personality of Godhead, even if he appears an invalid. And Srila Prabhupada writes there, but if even if he appears an invalid, this gives a chance to his disciples to serve him. So we saw in the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada also, towards his end of his life, he became very sick and he could not move around. So his disciples actually were carrying Srila Prabhupada around between wherever he wanted to go. And in that way, they were actually serving. It was said that once Srila Prabhupada was very weak. He could not even like really move around much on his bed. He needed some help. And he really wanted to go out of the room to the rooftop of Krishna Balaram temple. So he requested his disciples, okay, please take me to the rooftop. And some devotees said, no, Prabhupada, it is not very comfortable for you. And the other devotees wanted to actually fulfill Srila Prabhupada's desire. So they actually carried him. And they were all like carrying Srila Prabhupada. They created a palanquin kind of a arrangement. They put Prabhupada in in the palanquin, and one devotee was carrying in the front and others in the back, like that. But when somebody is carrying on a stairs, it's very difficult. So other devotees were holding him in place. And he was very frail. So they wanted to make it as comfortable as possible. When they were actually lifting, Srila Prabhupada said, a Bengali proverb. It said, uh, like, he just was cracking a joke even at that point. He was saying that how uh, the uh, the bride is old, but there are 10 people carrying him around, like that. Like, so the bridegroom is old, but there are 10 people carrying him to his marriage or something like that. So Srila Prabhupada was cracking a joke that how he was old and now he needs to be carried around. But still, the spiritual potency of a great Vaishnava is not minimized just by his physical condition. He was completely Krishna conscious even at that, but even at that time, and also fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and was still trying to uh, speak about Krishna and translate his books. So even a great Vaishnava is being like shown that how Srila Prabhupada's consciousness was fully absorbed in Krishna, even at that time when his physically was very frail. And similarly, here in this pastime, Madhavendra Puri also showcased how he was invalid, but Srila Prabhupada says Krishna is always protecting his devotees. And we also get to learn from Ishvari Puri how his sincere humility, submissiveness in serving his spiritual teacher. And that is the real wealth of a disciple. Spiritual life is not mechanical. Yes, the process of chanting, hearing, this is also a service to Guru, for sure. Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita in one place, that is the primary service to a Guru is following the, uh, what do you call, instructions. And chanting Hare Krishna is considered as the primary instruction of a Guru. And there is nothing wrong if our life circumstances does not allow us to render different kinds of services that how we see here. But what is the mood? That even our chanting needs to be done in the mood of a service. However, with all our sincerity, whatever we can, given our physical condition, given our life circumstances, given our abilities, skills, inclinations, all of these things, given all of these conditions, whatever we can do sincerely from our heart as a service to our spiritual teacher, Krishna surely accepts. And that is the qualification for our spiritual consciousness, for us to develop a deep spiritual consciousness. And without that, it is not a formula. Spiritual life is not just a formula. We do one, two, three, and we will be spiritually advanced. The mercy of a Vaishnava is very crucial, is very important to actually advance and please Krishna. So even our chanting has to be done in the mode of simple, humble service. By the mercy of spiritual teacher, we have received it, and it has to be done in that consciousness. Hearing, reading, chanting, speaking, all Navavida Bhakti has to be done in that attitude of a humble service to our spiritual teacher. Then, in that way, we'll be able to please our spiritual master, and Krishna will naturally be pleased. As Srila Prabhupada quoted in the purport, Asya prasadat bhagavat prasado, when the spiritual master is pleased, naturally the Supreme Lord is pleased. And that we see here in the pastimes of Sri Ishvari Puri, that as he stayed more in Navadvip, he met Nimai Pandit and he was completely attracted. They had interactions. Eventually, again, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits Gaya to perform the rites for his past father who passed away, he meets Ishwara Puri and he gets initiated. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even did not begin his Sankirtan movement until he got initiated by Ishwara Puri. To set an example, he played the pastimes of a scholar until that part. And after getting initiation from Sri Ishwara Puri, he actually was chanting Hare Krishna in ecstasy. And eventually he started the movement of Sankirtan gradually. So he said this example that even though he is the Supreme Lord, even he also very humbly accepted a spiritual master and received the holy names from him. And after that, he even set out to start his mission for which he had come and to experience the inner ecstasies of in the mood of Srimati Radharani. All of that pastimes were manifested only after getting initiated from Srila Ishwara Puri. So in this way, even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us an example of how to be a how important is the role of spiritual master in one's life. So thank you very much. If there are any thoughts anyone wants to share, Vijay Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Gaur Sharan Das Prabhu. I have a question. May I?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, in the biography of Sri Ishwarapuri by Mahanidhi Swami, and the title of the book is Gaudiya Vaishnava Samadhis in Vrindavan,
Mm-hmm.
I see from this biography, the quote is, quote, Sri Ishwarapuri again showed exemplary humility, the ornament of a true Vaishnava, when he first met Sri Advaita Acharya. Close quote. So based on this quote, my question is, why is it that humility is the ornament of a true Vaishnava? That is my question.
Okay, your question is why is humility the true ornament of a Vaishnava? Because knowledge always tends to bring pride naturally. However, a Vaishnava is one who knows Krishna, he knows the supreme absolute truth. So it's a sign of an advanced Vaishnava because it is very natural for someone who is uh, growing in bhakti and accumulating more information and endeavoring to advance spiritually. Sometimes we may feel, I'm so great, I know so much. It is a natural feeling that comes when we gather a lot of information. And it's the tendency of scholarship. So that's why even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu played that role. So even during his pastimes as a student and as especially as a teacher, he, of course, he wasn't arrogant or anything, but sometimes he would just play in that mood. And also, still, he showed humility while dealing with Keshava Kashmiri and all of that. And the idea why humility is the ornament is that is considered as, even if we see Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says amanitvam adambitvam. When he discusses the process of knowledge, he says the first quality is amanitvam, means being humble, not having pride. And here we see in the life of Ishwara Puri also that he exhibits that humility because without having humility, all other qualities become nullified, because with false ego is the thing that makes the body and the soul stick to each other. It's the glue that actually keeps body and soul together is false ego. So as long as that false ego is there, the full realization of one's identity, of Krishna's greatness cannot fully manifest. The information can be there, but the heart cannot actually melt. The heart cannot actually become soft. But spiritual advancement happens only when when the heart is soft. So ego is the opposite of that. So false ego is the last thing to go. So that is why it is considered humility as an ornament, because we all actually display our ornament, right? It's like when we have an ornament, usually a necklace or a choker or something like that, we actually display it. Similarly, what is very vividly present in the personality of a Vaishnava is his humility, because knowledge cannot be just by looking at someone may not be able to cannot be recognized how great that person is, how much knowledge he has cannot be just very easy to recognize just by interacting in general interactions. But humility is very clearly visible, how someone interacts with others. So that is also a important sign, and that is why it is considered as ornament, because it is very vividly visible in one's dealings with others. Of course, it can be faked. In like when we are with others, we can act like we are humble. However, no one can actually fake it in the long run. When we continuously interact with people, they just cannot fake it. However, it's a growing gradation gradually. The more one realizes Krishna's greatness, one understands how insignificant they are. So that naturally gives a rise to humility and devotion. And these are some of my thoughts. Anybody else, like Adipurush Prabhu or anybody else, would like to add, share? Yes, Adipurush Prabhu. You would have to unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, can you hear us okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Wonderful class, just wonderful. I mean, we relish so much your complete transparency, your spiritual master's empowering you to explain things so nicely. She asked a good question. Why is humility the ornament? Why is humility something that is precious and beautiful and valuable? Because it pleases Krishna. Krishna is so wonderful. And Krishna gives us access to become purified, to become uplifted, and to come close to him. And one of the most important aspects that Krishna provides is the devotees. And the devotees are very dear to Krishna, and they're helping us to come to Krishna. So when we please Krishna by showing humility and service to the devotees, that's very effective. Krishna's pleased when somebody serves his devotee. More, what Chaitanya said, one who says he's my devotee is not my devotee. But he's a devotee of my devotee, then he's definitely my devotee. So the ornament of humility helps us to take shelter. We hear so many descriptions you gave about someone serving their spiritual master and how pleasing that was to Krishna and how it was so uplifting for them. And the devotees do some seemingly unusual thing, like eating the dirt from the place where his spiritual master was, keeping a little bit gesture of like understanding that my guru is great and I'm, subordinate. When one devotee, we go to holy places, we serve devotees, we take prasadam, we hear from the Shastra. One devotee, Mataji, went to where the, you ever hear of Gethsemane? Before Jesus was crucified, he went to this garden called Gethsemane. And they're painting, there's a big rock, like a boulder, and he's kneeling and he's on the rock, and he's praying to the Lord. I know what's going to happen. I would rather not drink from this bitter cup, but thy will be done. He was weeping and even shedding blood, like a sweat, like a blood. He was so understanding how difficult it was going to be to go through the crucifixion. So they have this shrine and a temple built around that rock. You know, it's definitely a place where to be, we appreciate Krishna. So this one Mataji, she's a Hare Krishna devotee, but she went there because she comes from a Christian background. And they have the rock in this temple, and they have a fence around the rock. So she was so moved to see that place where Jesus was praying that she jumped over the fence. And she was trying to touch the rock, you know, and they arrested her and brought her away. And she's just a little crazy, but trying to, you know, the things devotees do, like eating the dirt or, you know, serving the spiritual master. One of the things she did, she went to the place where the Krishna stole the garments of the gopis. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what she did there. It's crazy. But anyway, Krishna's so kind, he gives us access to exhibit something that will be pleasing to him and to come close to him. So that's why humility is an ornament. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. I'm sorry to talk so long. Okay.
Hare Krishna. I would like to add.
Yeah.
Yes, Trinada Pisunitena, Tarura Pisahishnuna, Amanina Madena, Kirtanya, Sadahari, and the English translation goes as follows. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And it is said that we should wear this verse as around our necks. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Ishvari Puru, Dad, set my bases over Gaur Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. I just appreciate your class so much. And thank you for that description of Tirtha and how Prabhupada is the embodiment of that Tirtha, that he can bring a holy place and make holy places. It was so wonderful to hear that in your class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keshav Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else wants to share? So we do have like okay, Mother Gail.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just, trying to think about this concept of taking shelter of a spiritual master or accepting a spiritual master. I was wondering, these are not just words, right?
Mm-hmm.
The real meaning is the mood behind those words, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So when one accepts a spiritual master, or takes shelter of a spiritual master, as Krishna wants us all to do, what is the mood that gives the true meaning to those words?
That accepting a spiritual teacher or like taking shelter of them, what does that in reality means, like in action?
Yes.
Yeah. So like how Srila Prabhupada explained is basically we accept the instructions of the spiritual master and take that very seriously. And basically how we chant like Om Ajnanatimirandasya, like we are born into ignorance. We accept their the knowledge that they are sharing, the spiritual knowledge, who Krishna is, who are we, and what is our connection with Krishna. and what to do in that. So the Sambandha, Abhideya, and the Prayojana Gyan that they are giving, accept it and applying it in our own lives. That's what really means taking shelter. Because many people may take but may not apply it. So then that is also not taking shelter. So in general, as long as we are not against this concept of taking shelter of another devotee to approach Krishna, and also following their instructions, then in that sense we are taking shelter of the principle of Guru Tattva.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Madhuri Devi.
Hare Krishna, Gaur Sharan, thank you so much for class. I just want to say I always love all of Mother Gail's questions, and just wanted to add to it humbly, if I may, just having recently gone through the process of initiation. And Mother Gail was asking, what is it really like? What is it practically like?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, not to get confused with the mundane example, but it's a lot like falling in love. In a practical sense, like it really feels like falling in love, in that you are naturally subordinate to that person and you naturally put your desires after theirs because you just are falling in love with them. But unlike in the mundane world where that naturally passes, my deep sense, even though I'm just at the beginning, is that it doesn't pass. It's a kind of a continuous falling in love. And so the shelter that you're taking and the following is not, and I love what you said in your class today, it's not mechanical in any way, nor is it like a duty like eating your vegetables. It's just a continuous falling in love. And therefore everything sort of naturally falls into place. And that Krishna so mercifully provides this system that this just happens, like almost like a biological thing, like a plant grows in sunlight, you fall in love, and it's in your spirit. It's very unusual because we're so used to it in our bodies, but it's completely non-physical. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing, Madhuri.
I just have to interject. Thank you so much, Madhuri, for adding that love element, because I feel like we don't hear about the love element in that way nearly often enough. I think it's like critical, because who wants to just follow orders, without emotion? Krishna consciousness is about soft emotions in the heart, and that's what inspires anybody to want to follow anybody. So without love, there's just no inspiration. So I really appreciate so much your emphasizing the falling in love, in an eternal way with the spiritual master. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. It really made the class so complete for me, and it's nourishing my heart, this interaction. So thank you, Mother Gail, for the question, and Venu Madhuri for addition. And thank you all. It's 8:01, and I'm here, so I'm not sure what's happening in the temple room. So I'll take your leave. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Gaur Sharan Prabhu ki jai. Thank you. Darshan time to devotees. Turn on your cameras. Maybe even stand up if you're inspired.
I'm not sure. Manohar's right here. Manohar, you want to place this? Right here? Just right in front?
The other way, Ishvari Puru.
Lotus feet of our spiritual master, loving the way we attain pure devotional service. I have items of lotus feet in the grave ornaments. By His grace, one to cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my conscience purified by the words and the meaning from the foolish not. Attached to His lotus feet is affectionate, all love back. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendent knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From Him ecstatic trains, my ignorance destroys. The basic scripture sings to His character. Our spiritual masters, the ocean mercy, and the poor Lord masters mercy. O Master of mercy, Your famous take shelter below the sweet.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Ekeshwar Prabhu. Wonderful recitation of the prayer, Ekeshwar. Okay, welcome to the afterglow. Let me mute the temple room. Arjuna Prabhu is a wonderful devotee. Look at him. He's serving his guru lovingly. He's illustrating this class. This is not a self-help movement. This is Krishna help movement. This is Guru help movement. Okay, Krishna Kumari has a hand up.
Hare Krishna. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I there's something in like 12-step programs that really speaks to some truth, which is not to put personalities before principles. So you're supposed to put principles before personalities. And I just want to say, like, I mean, my guru is in good standing and I love him. But at the same time, after all the time I've been around, I've seen gurus go. And, I don't know, it's just something that breaks my heart, like that we put so much emphasis on these personalities, but while they're performing and doing these beautiful things, then all these things exist. But, Maya is so strong. It could happen even to anyone's guru, so I don't know. I just pray for all the disciples of Prabhupada, just to really have faith in the process and not everything on the personality.
Thank you, Krishna Kumari. Yeah, that's a valid point. Maya is strong, and nobody's perfect. But Gaur Sharan Prabhu, what's our thinking? No one is perfect. Does that apply to guru? I mean, in the Shastra, that it says that if your guru is not following them, you don't have to follow them.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. I usually don't I'm not here for the afterglow. So it's nice sometimes to catch up. And yeah, it's a very real life kind of a question. My thoughts, how I approach is like, I took my time to look at, like I took like around 12, yeah, something like 10 or 12 years to get initiated because I had very similar kind of doubts I wanted to see. And mostly how I chose my spiritual master was by hearing, like whatever the lectures actually really touched me, the hearing really connected with me. And then I went and saw how they are, but I couldn't directly interact with my spiritual master. He was a big person. However, I saw how his disciples were very kind and nice, and they were very matured, and they really had a mood of service and love and appreciation. And that actually gradually warmed up, and then I could see, okay, if they are having that mood, that is surely usually the students take on the mood of their spiritual teacher. So that also convinced me gradually. However, these interaction, the question is like, what do we do? Like, can you just again tell the question, Anand Bihari Prabhu, what exactly?
So in the Shastra, there's a great emphasis on the role of the guru in our life. What if something happens, and then does that jeopardize our spiritual life? Is it really on us or on the guru if something happens?
Yeah. Even like Jiva Goswami, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they all actually write about what to do, when to, like they even touch on this very sensitive topic of when to reject a guru. Like that means even in their, like even for that topic to come into picture means there were circumstances like that, even in those days. So he has a whole section where he speaks about like when to reject a guru, what happens when there is some unfortunate conditions, situations like that happens. So anything, we have to be ready for anything in the spiritual world. Sorry, in the material world, anything is can go back and forth, but we need to have faith. Okay, Krishna really knows our heart, and our connection is there. Spiritual master is like there are many levels of spiritual teachers. Also, there is I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur also lists them. Jiva Goswami also lists liberated, not liberated. Even Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, all kinds of gradations are there even within that also. So we can do our best to actually find someone who is worthy of our surrender and shelter. For unfortunately, if anything changes in the future, it's not very easy. It's very uncomfortable. It breaks one's heart, as Venu, Madhuri, and Gail said. It's a loving relationship. We are like really falling in love with someone. So it's very difficult experience. Still, our connection with Krishna is eternal. So we can go ahead and see how that connection could be rerouted. Because spiritual master is an external manifestation of the Paramatma. So the Lord is unlimited. So he always can have unlimited base for him to come to him. So it's usually that Srila Prabhupada, like once Srila Prabhupada's disciple asked him, Srila Prabhupada, can you suggest a name of your god brother or others that we could actually connect with once you are not physically there? That Srila Prabhupada became very grave. And he just closed his eyes and he said, my spiritual master is not very cheap. He didn't say anything else. He just said, my spiritual master is not so cheap. He just, what he meant was the idea that a spiritual teacher who is worthy is not like some just a channel or anything, is a loving relationship. However, in this world, when we have different grades of spiritual teachers, something, and if anything unfortunate happens, we are in an organization. There are so many, what do you call, like rules and so many situations. So different personalities may actually take up the role for various reasons. But if anything unfortunate happens, we don't need to be fully. It's very easy to say. It is completely bewildering. I can just say that, but it is not very easy for someone to go. I don't have that personal experience of living through it, so I'm not qualified to say that. But in my heart, it will be like you keep on with your connection with Krishna and pray, and then see, is there any other Vaishnava who really touches us, take guidance from others, and see whatever best we can do in that situation. I would say Adipurush Prabhu might have a better answer.
Maybe not a better answer, but elaborating on what you said, guru is a functional definition. If a candle is lit, it's capable of lighting another candle. If it's not lit, it isn't. Bali Maharaj rejected his guru when the guru stopped telling the truth. So Krishna is so wonderful that if we want somebody in our life worthy of our trust and obedience, Krishna will give that. And it says that it's not a function of geographical proximity. Where our spiritual master is our spiritual master, life after life.
Is guru a principle or a person?
Well, it's not impersonal. We're not surrendering to a list of rules or a building or an institution. We are surrendering to a person based on love and trust. We're surrendering to a person who's inspiring us by his speaking the truth and his acting on that platform. And we're taking shelter of that example and following him. Guru is available. I wouldn't go so far as to say there's too much emphasis on the person. No, there is emphasis on the person. Krishna can provide a person for you to hear from and assist in devotional service. There's no question about that. Of course, in the case of Bali Maharaj, he realized that, his guru is not acting like guru, so he had to leave that. But still, there is always a guru available, like Gaur Sharan Prabhu said. And we have the responsibility and the choice to ask for that. Krishna, I really want a genuine spiritual master. I really want somebody to help me come to you. Krishna sees that and gives that and is fully capable of responding to that. Or if we don't really want guru and we want somebody we have an excuse not to obey, then Krishna will give you that quality of quote unquote guru. Some pseudo personality, pseudo guru. Right? Is that clear? Mataji, is that clear? Can anyone hear me?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Is that clear?
Well,
Wait. Let me make sure. You understand what I'm asking. Is it clear that Krishna can provide guru?
Krishna is providing guru.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I hear from
Always will.
guru every day, not directly from my spiritual master. When I really pray, I get guidance on so many things to inspire me to stay in Krishna consciousness. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying any guru cannot be guru one day. It's
Sure,
just
that's
it's
true.
just the way it
If
is,
they step off that platform, then they're not guru. But guru is available, just like the prostitute Chintamani spoke to what's his name? I can't think of his name offhand. And he said, I heard my spiritual masters speaking to me through the lips of a prostitute. So the spiritual master is capable of speaking to you. And what is it? Even in the Bible, it says, who can separate you from the love of Christ? Oceans, mountains, time. Even Prabhupada said, I'm never separated from my spiritual master, even though he left the planet decades ago. Because Prabhupada said, this fly on my head is not associating with me, but my disciple who's on the other side of the world, who's doing what I asked him to do, he is associating with me. So guru is available. Krishna can give us a person to guide us, care for us. And if we want it, Krishna will give it.
So I'm just saying devotees from the past, Krishna gave them a guru too. That wasn't because these devotees didn't fall down because of the disciples' desire changed, So they still have to stay on path to find another guru. So I'm just kind of putting forward a mature observation just for devotees of today. Like it could happen to anyone's guru. It's like we all think, well, I chose the right guru, but that's not the truth. I don't know. I just stay critical thinking, stay intact, and Sangha is so important.
There are irrevocable facts. Krishna can provide guru at any time.
Thank you, Hari Purusha.
All glories to Prabhupada.
Okay, very briefly, Andrea followed by Min. Andrea, unmute yourself, please. Andrea.
Hare Krishna. Thank you to all the devotees who are here. I'm like super new to Krishna consciousness. And so when I hear her concern, my immediate question is, as like I said, I'm not initiated, I'm just super new learning. I guess for my question is, in Vaishnav, would you call it a faith? I'm not sure what you call it. In your canonical text, it's my understanding, from my extremely limited understanding, that it's not personalities over principles, that ultimately the supreme personality of Godhead is the topmost connection, and that is what is to be clung to, nurtured over a personality. Is my understanding anywhere on the board? Hi, Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Gaur Sharan Prabhu. Is that accurate? Was that an accurate understanding? That Krishna is the criteria, Krishna is the principle, Krishna is the personality.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll attempt to answer. I'll try to. Yes, I would totally agree with you in that, like, yes, the whole purpose of spiritual life is to revive our connection with Krishna, and He is the central. And we are not, when we speak of Guru, we are not speaking of any personality cult or an alternate for Krishna or God. We are not, however, because we kind of can approach Krishna easily through his servants. Because the Supreme Lord is not very easily approachable directly because we don't know fully about the spiritual truth. So we serve the servants of the Supreme Lord. And a real servant of a Supreme Lord does not have any selfish motive. Like, they're not like trying to have a following or something for the sake of having a following. All they're interested is to save us in one sense from our ignorance and make our connection with Krishna more pronounced and more stable. So that's why Prabhupada always used this, that Guru is a transparent medium between the disciple and God. They're not middlemen who are controlling our relationship with Krishna. They are rather facilitating our relationship with Krishna, and they don't assume any air about it. It's not. Srila Prabhupada was just having that attitude of service. Like, he gave his life in bringing people in contact with Krishna. He wasn't here to get anything or gain anything. He wasn't doing gatekeeping or anything of that attitude. No. So it's not a personality cult. However, as Srila Adipurush Prabhu said, and such a nice devotee of God, why not we have love and affection for them? Because that is directly a sign of our, because I don't know Krishna, I know who is Srila Prabhupada. I don't know who Krishna is, really speaking. I may have some experience, but I don't know anything about Krishna, to be very honest. Radharani or Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are all, I don't know who they are. But I know I have faith in Srila Prabhupada, that if he says God must be existing and he must be Krishna, on a certain level, that is also how I see my spiritual life. I don't know anything. Everything else is based on my faith in Srila Prabhupada. And everything of my spiritual life is built on that. So I may always remember him and he's everything for me. So it may look like a personality cult. However, it's not that we are treating, there is no replacement for our connection with Krishna, and neither the Guru is coming in between and saying, I'm as big as God or anything like that. I'm not sure if I really answered your question.
There are two philosophies. Can you hear me?
Yes, bro.
One philosophy is there's me and there's God. There's nobody higher than me. I'm going right to the Lord, you know. But Krishna says, Tadvidi Pranipatena, approach me through a guru. That's what Krishna says. And the other philosophy is there is no guru. You've got to fly your own boat, you know. But it's not separated. It's not that the principle is different than the person. The person who embodies the principle, the lit candle, is lit and can light you. And a candle that is not lit cannot light you. It's a functional definition. If you see someone is inspiring people in devotional service, if you see someone is engaging in devotional service, if see someone is repeating what Krishna says, what the Parampara says, that is guru. If it has horns and a tail and four hoofs, it's a cow. You don't have to argue about it. They do exist. There's a counterfeit $20 bill, right? There's a counterfeit $20 bill, but doesn't mean we reject all $20 bills. Somewhere there has to be a real one. And if we want a real one, Krishna will give us a real one.
If somebody has an apron and tilak and white t-shirt, that's Adi, and always speaks from the heart.
I'm just repeating my spiritual master.
Yes, always repeat. So that's Adi. Yeah, that's a functional definition of Adi Purusha Prabhu. Always repeating Prabhupada. Always eager to serve. Okay, Gaur Sharan Prabhu, if you need to go, no problem. But Min has her hand up. If you have time, let's see what she has to say. Min.
Thank you so much for class, and thank you, Adi Purusha, for that confirmation of Krishna sending your guru when you asked for a person to show, because it's only been very recently that I realize that I need a guru actually to bring me closer to Krishna. And I felt shy about asking that to Krishna. And so thank you for that. Also, so, not having a guru, a specific person to serve, I was wondering if we could turn attention, because Gaur Sharan, I don't remember in what context you mentioned it, but you mentioned serving the holy name, service to holy name. Could you speak a little bit about that? Because I'm having a little bit trouble just trying to chant sincerely and steadily. What is there a difference or the similarities between serving the guru and serving the holy name?
Thank you, Min, for the question. In the context in which I spoke about chanting the holy name is like doing everything in our spiritual life as a service to our spiritual teacher. Because we are chanting, we might sometimes think, as Adi Purush Prabhu just said, it's me and God. It's my chanting is my direct, I'm like trying to approach directly Krishna through my devotional activities of reading, hearing, chanting. But when it is done in the humble mood of as a service to one's spiritual teacher, it actually has much more value, and it is much more pleasing to Krishna. That's its real value. In that context, I spoke about chanting, because some people may think I'm old, or I'm in my circumstances, I cannot actually go and serve physically, or I may not do this, I may not do that. But Ashil Prabhupada writes in CC, the primary instruction, the primary service is to chant the holy name. That is the first request of the spiritual teacher. And when it is done in the right mood, that is also a service. Externally, there may be various other services that many people may do. That was the context. Can you now build on that and clarify?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Jagannath Gopal Prabhu says in the chat.
Thank you, Jagannath Gopal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
He says the triangle, the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, those things are inseparable. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. It's not that Guru is floating around in outer space, disconnected from Shastra. It's all part of one world, one universe, where there's Krishna, there's Guru representing Krishna. There's the devotee going to Krishna through the Guru, served by pleasing the Guru and following the instruction. It's all one connected organism. Okay, I'm not sure what to do. Should we hear from Gail? Gaur Sharan Prabhu? Yeah, Gail. Yeah. Maybe a cryptic question, maybe like one sentence question. Because your questions are a heavy load, Gail. Try to.
Well, I'm gonna give you a break. This isn't a question. This is just a couple of quick comments, but you can let me know if my understandings are not bona fide. Well, one is that keeping the mood of love intact here. One of the reasons that I understand that Krishna wants us to take shelter of his devotee is because he loves his devotee so much that he wants that devotee glorified. And so when we realize that it is the spiritual master who is responsible for responsible for facilitating our relationship with Krishna, we value him so much, and we hold him in such high esteem that Krishna wants that for his pure devotee. So my understanding is that is at least one of the reasons why Krishna wants us to take shelter of his devotee is out of love for that devotee, so that that devotee gets that glory, of having facilitated our relationship with Krishna. And the other point was that it's not that we want a guru just to facilitate, that relationship with Krishna, and then we kind of toss them to the curb after that relationship is established. We are to remain eternally indebted to the spiritual master, and therefore that relationship is an eternal one. It's not just like just an instrument. It's a relationship to be valued, eternally, out of love. So I hope that was short enough. I welcome any corrections, though, if need be.
Gaur Sharan Prabhu. Are you endorsing Gail's statements?
Oh, yes, very good. In the guest program, we have a breakfast area. And, these days people have difficulty committing to anything. Most people in Manhattan are not married because they have no idea what marriage is about, how to do it, and so many of them are broken. In the breakfast area, for example, sometimes the toast pops up. And I look around the room and say, is this yours? Is that your toast? People can't commit to a piece of toast. They put the toast in and then they leave. So commitment is, essential. And the ability to commit is not very strong in this age. So like Gail said, he is my Lord, birth after birth. Why not be faithful to someone who's genuine? The guru has a responsibility to be exemplary, and we have the choice whether or not we're going to be faithful to that personality.
Thank you. Okay, Krishna Chandra Prabhu, let's finish it off. One final remark with your voice, please.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your very kind words. Missed seeing you yesterday, but anyway, thank you again. So I was just thinking about, I think the guru-disciple relationship is absolutely the most important relationship we'll ever have, and commitment's absolutely important there. When I was thinking about Gail's comment, I was thinking, we are the servant of the servant. We are always the servant of the servant. So my understanding is, if we are fortunate enough to make it to the spiritual world, we will be serving our spiritual master in the spiritual world.
Thank you. Guru is not a ladder. We don't discard Guru.
Never.
We keep serving. It's this relationship, this connection, like Gaur Sharan Prabhu says, is eternal. Thank you, Gaur Sharan Prabhu. This class tends to be eternal. It's 8:36. It was nice spending the time with you, dear devotees. Have a wonderful Monday, wonderful week. Hare Krishna, Gaur Sharan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Dandavats everyone. Hare Krishna.